Welcome, dear viewers, to another episode of The Daily Satire, where we humorously unpack the chaotic carnival of global affairs. Today, we're diving into a topic so thrilling, it could almost make a reality TV show blush: the U.S.-China trade tango. Yes, folks, the world's two economic powerhouses have decided to ease tariffs for a whopping 90-day window. A bold move indeed, akin to giving a toddler a lollipop and a puppy, then wondering why everything is sticky and chewed. Now, the financial press has lauded this move with the enthusiasm of a child opening presents on Christmas morning. Stocks rallied, investors cheered, and the headlines proclaimed victory in a trade war that has dragged on like the last season of a mediocre TV series. But as usual, while everyone was distracted by the flashy lights and ticker tape, the real magic trick slipped by unnoticed. Quietly, like a whisper in a library, Washington and Beijing agreed to establish a trade consultation mechanism. Now I know what you're thinking. A trade consultation mechanism? Be still, my beating heart. But hold your yawns, because this bureaucratic beast might just be the most consequential economic shift in years. It's the kind of thing that would have economists doing cartwheels, if only they weren't so busy recalibrating their abacuses. Under the astute leadership of President Donald Trump, the United States is once again demonstrating its penchant for the art of the deal. This isn't just about slashing tariffs. It's about reimagining the entire global trading system. It's about tackling the deep-rooted imbalances that keep America in a perpetual state of economic seesaw, and doing so with the finesse of a seasoned reality show contestant who knows just when to drop a bombshell. Enter Stephen Miran, the cerebral chair of the President's Council of Economic Advisors. His 41-page opus, A User's Guide to Restructuring the Global Trading System, is the economic equivalent of a political thriller. It explains how the current dollar-centric model locks the United States into a cycle of trade deficits while encouraging other nations, like China, to hoard savings like a dragon with gold. The result? A lopsided economic order where the U.S. plays the role of consumer of last resort and global debtor-in-chief. Meanwhile, countries like China flood the world with goods, yet face domestic stagnation. It's the kind of economic soap opera that even Wall Street can't script. Miran calls this scenario a Triffin world, a term that might sound like a character from a sci-fi movie, but is actually a nod to economist Robert Triffin's dilemma. When a national currency doubles as a global reserve, balancing domestic and international obligations becomes as tricky as juggling flaming torches. To satisfy global demand for safe assets, the U.S. must run deficits, hollowing out its own economy like a Halloween pumpkin. And so, dear viewers, we find ourselves at a crossroads. China's property crisis and slowing growth are glaring reminders of the limits of its export model. Meanwhile, the U.S. faces mounting deficits, political polarization, and industrial decline. The systemic flaws are as subtle as a bull in a china shop, yet for too long, they've been ignored. Enter tariffs, a tool intended to push back against these imbalances, but often as effective as a paper umbrella in a hurricane. What Miran proposes is something far more revolutionary: a structural recalibration, realign currency values, discourage excessive reserve accumulation, and encourage balanced capital flows. In other words, let's stop pretending that a Band-Aid can fix a broken leg. The establishment of this new U.S.-China mechanism suggests that Miran's framework is taking root. It's more than a diplomatic love-in. It's the first real move to unwind the Bretton Woods II system. It's the economic equivalent of rebooting a franchise, but with fewer CGI explosions. Now, some critics will scoff, dismissing this as just another diplomatic forum. But there's reason to believe it's more. Miran's ascent to the top economic advisory post indicates that these ideas have currency at the highest levels. This alignment, dear viewers, is harder to ignore than a Kardashian wedding. Of course, none of this will be easy. The system didn't become a tangled mess overnight, and it won't be untangled quickly. But the creation of this platform is a start. It acknowledges the real root of global trade tensions, not as a battle between exporters and importers, but as a systemic distortion embedded in international finance. So, America, this is our moment. Rather than settling for symbolic tariff victories or short-term market gains, we should push for a durable framework that rewards production at home and disincentivizes dependency abroad. This, my friends, might just be the clearest example of President Trump's art of the deal approach. firm on leverage, clear-eyed on outcomes, and ready to tackle problems at their root. While the tariff cut grabbed headlines, the real story lies in this committee, a potential forum where the next phase of the global economic order is quietly drafted. It's a deal worth making, a script worth rewriting, and a pivot worth pursuing. But enough from me. What do you, our brilliant audience, think? Is this the economic revolution we've been waiting for? Or just another chapter in the ongoing saga? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and let us know what topics you'd like us to tackle next. Until then, stay sharp, stay informed, and remember, the best satire sometimes sounds an awful lot like the truth.